the North Star State and Showdown, Amortspine Nas. An icy introduction. Imagine a place where the air hurts your face and your eyelashes freeze together in seconds. Welcome to the ultimate cold weather showdown, Alberta, Canada versus Minnesota, the USA's own slice of the Arctic. These two northern titans are famous for winters that are not just cold, but bone-chillingly brutal. When winter arrives, it's a full-scale invasion of ice and wind, a season that tests your resolve, your car battery, and your will to leave the house. In Alberta, minus 40 degrees Celsius is not uncommon. At that point, Celsius and Fahrenheit agree, it's just too cold. Minnesota faces the infamous polar vortex, with wind chills that can make it feel like minus 50. This isn't just sweater weather, it's a cold that changes the very physics of the world around you. Life here means constant preparation, layering clothes, plugging in your car, and always having hot chocolate on standby. Winter shapes conversations, plans, and even the sense of community. People don't just survive, they embrace the season, finding humor and beauty in the harshest conditions. We'll explore the science, the stories, and the survival strategies of Alberta and Minnesota. So grab a warm blanket, let's dive into the icy heart of North America's winter. Why do Alberta and Minnesota get so ridiculously cold? It's not just bad luck, it's science. Both regions sit far north, so in winter, the sun's rays are weak and daylight is short. Less heat comes in, and there's more time for the cold to settle. Alberta sits just east of the Rockies, which block warm Pacific air. Instead, cold Arctic air flows straight in, creating a direct highway for frigid temperatures. When an Arctic high-pressure system arrives, it's like leaving the freezer door wide open. Minnesota, with its flat terrain and no mountains, is wide open to Arctic winds sweeping down from Canada. These Alberta clippers bring polar air and biting wind chills. Both regions lack the moderating influence of a large ocean, so there's nothing to soften the cold. The real star is the polar vortex, a swirling mass of Arctic air that sometimes escapes the pole and plunges south. When the jet stream weakens, a lobe of the vortex can break off and descend over North America. That's when record-shattering cold snaps hit Alberta and Minnesota. It's not just a cold front, it's a piece of the Arctic itself, visiting for a few days to remind everyone who's boss. Geography, latitude, and atmospheric forces all conspire to make these places some of the coldest in North America. The result? Winters that are legendary for their intensity. Surviving here is a science all its own. In a place where minus 40 is possible, clothing is about survival, not style. Albertans and Minnesotans are masters of layering, a moisture-wicking base, an insulating middle, and a windproof, waterproof shell. Cotton is out, merino wool or synthetics are in. A heavy-duty parka with a fur-lined hood is essential, not optional. Insulated snow pants and thick mittens keep the cold at bay. Toques in Alberta, beanies in Minnesota, whatever you call it. A warm hat is a must. Mittens beat gloves for warmth, and insulated boots are non-negotiable. Chemical hand and foot warmers are common for an extra boost. Albertans might favor technical mountain brands. Minnesotans lean toward rugged, durable gear. But the philosophy's the same. There's no bad weather, only bad clothing. Preparation is everything. Being properly dressed is your first line of defense. In these regions, your wardrobe is your armor, and everyone knows how to suit up for battle. In Alberta and Minnesota, winter mornings start with plugging in your car's block heater. Forgetting can mean a dead engine and a stranded driver. Remote starters warm up the cabin before you even step outside. Roads are often slick with black ice, and snowplows work around the clock to keep highways clear. On side streets, slow driving and winter tires are essential. Every car carries a winter emergency kit: blankets, shovel, booster cables, and snacks. Public transit adapts, but delays are common as switches freeze and snow piles up. Commuters check apps, leave early, and learn patience. The cold creates a sense of camaraderie. Strangers help push stuck cars or offer jump starts. Daily life is a series of small adjustments, breathing through a scarf, rushing groceries inside, and always checking the wind chill. Simple errands require planning and resilience. For locals, it's just life, a dance of preparation and perseverance. In the rhythm of winter, everyone knows the steps. In most places, a little snow shuts everything down. Not so in Alberta and Minnesota. Here, it takes a true blizzard or dangerous wind chills to close schools or businesses. Snow days are rare and celebrated, usually only declared when travel is nearly impossible. In Minnesota, schools may close if wind chills hit -40 degrees Celsius or lower to protect kids waiting for buses. In Alberta, closures for cold alone are even rarer. Often, only rural buses are canceled. When a snow day is called, students rejoice, but parents scramble for childcare. Businesses try to adapt, but extreme cold can disrupt everything from retail to construction. Infrastructure is built for the cold, but even it has limits. Water mains can break, and power grids are strained. When the power goes out at -30, it's a real emergency. On these days, the world falls silent, and everyone hunkers down, waiting for the cold to pass. It's a powerful reminder: nature is still in charge. To truly understand life in the deep freeze, you have to hear from the locals. Their stories blend practical advice, dark humor, and a sense of pride. In Alberta, winter has two stages: when you plug in your truck and when you don't bother unplugging it until April. People joke about frozen jeans that stand on their own and dogs refusing to go out in 3 feet of snow. In Minnesota, the favorite season is winter. It keeps the riffraff out. Residents share tales of sea smoke rising from Lake Superior, beautiful but deadly cold. Phones die in seconds, and fingers freeze before you can snap a photo. Mechanics laugh about tires freezing flat overnight, making for a bumpy ride until they warm up. The sound of the cold is unique. On a still night, you can hear a train miles away, or footsteps blocks down the street. These anecdotes reveal a shared identity forged in ice. People trade stories, offer tips, and find solidarity in the challenge. Complaints are rare, humor is essential. As one Minnesotan put it, you don't have to love winter, you just have to know how to live with it. And maybe laugh so you don't cry. In the end, it's all about resilience, and a good story to tell. To grasp the true power of an Alberta or Minnesota winter, look to the record books. Alberta's coldest, -61.1 Celsius, set in Fort Vermilion in 1911, a temperature so low, steel can shatter and skin freezes in seconds. More recently, January 2024 saw much of Alberta locked in a deep freeze, with wind chills near -55 and the power grid pushed to its limit. These events become benchmarks for all other winters. Minnesota's record low -51 Celsius, set in Tower in 1996, during the Great Arctic Outbreak. Cars refused to start, and towns fell eerily silent as people stayed indoors. The 2019 polar vortex brought wind chills of -52, prompting a statewide emergency and even halting mail delivery. These moments are seared into local memory, a reminder that even today winter can still win. The coldest days become legends, shaping how people prepare and remember. In both places, the cold is more than weather, it's history. After all this, which winter is worse, Alberta's dry, biting cold or Minnesota's damp, windy chill? The answer isn't simple. Alberta's cold is dry and often a true reflection of the thermometer, but it can be harsh on skin and lungs. Chinook winds can bring sudden dramatic thaws, but the freeze-thaw cycle creates its own hazards. Minnesota's cold is often damp, especially near Lake Superior, and the wind can make it feel even colder. Wind chills are the real danger, sometimes making a -25 day feel like -45. Alberta may win for absolute lows, but Minnesota's wind chills are punishing. Ultimately, it's a tie. Each place has its own brand of misery and resilience. The worst winter? It's a matter of personal preference or personal misery. Dry, deep cold or relentless wind, both demand respect, and both produce people of incredible toughness. In the end, the Alberta versus Minnesota showdown isn't about crowning a champion, it's about celebrating the human spirit of adaptation and endurance. Residents don't just survive winter, they build their lives around it. They find beauty in frozen landscapes, humor in daily struggles, and community in shared hardship. From block heaters to technical clothing, every detail is a response to the cold. Stories of boiling water turning to ice and cars starting at -35 are part of the culture. When you hear about a polar vortex or deep freeze, think of the people facing it with quiet determination. They are keepers of ancient knowledge, how to live with winter, not just against it. Toughness isn't about being immune to the cold. It's about preparation, respect, and a sense of humor. In the coldest days, the warmth of community shines brightest.